was on my rib, breathing was so painful. Like my anxiety was just like brutal. People are just like,
Oh, yeah.
how are you surviving in your body right now? I would be scratching at my hands, looking out the window, and I was in so much pain that I would not realize what I was doing. And then I'd look down and I would be bleeding. And I would just be like, oh, I'm causing this. And the sort of behavioral aspect of that, of just coping, just you're in survival mode in your body and you're not safe.
Gemma is an eczema warrior and an eczema veteran. She came in doing all the things, and you've taken pretty much most medications. We might actually just jump in right here because you've
Yeah.
been on topical steroids, Dupixent, cyclosporin, what else?
Methotrexate,
Methotrexate.
a lot of prednisone in 10 years.
Yeah. So the tricky part is this is you're just so stuck where you have to take medications. And there's nothing against medications. They're helpful. We're in a tricky period where it's affecting you mentally, emotionally. But sometimes people just stop there. So you still need to address where the information is coming from. So this is going to be a really nice conversation because we're going to talk about Gemma's journey with eczema in general, what she's tried, the biggest turning points, and where she's at now and how her life's changed, which is amazing. Beautiful story. I always like to rewind and talk about your eczema healing journey.
Maybe in my early 20s, I had like little spots here and there, didn't really notice it. It wasn't really till I became a massage therapist at 27 where it really started to show up. So it was the constant washing of the hands and being in oil for long periods of time. And it started to show up on the top of my hand. And I was like, okay, what would you do? You go to the doctor, right? And so I went to the doctor and they gave me a cream. And I remember it was like 6 months of creams. And I kept being like, this is not working. And then I really dove into just everything more holistically before I went to the medication. And so it was like, I thought, okay, nervous system plays a part. Let me do a 30-day hot yoga. Let me try IVs. I think I've been through maybe 5 or 6 naturopaths. What else was I doing? I even went to India. I stayed in an Ayurvedic, I want to call hospital retreat center where they did a 7-day series of panchakarma. I was meditating. I was like doing it all, but it wasn't enough. Then I was exercising food because I thought food was the root cause. Vegan. I was pescatarian. I was doing enemas. I tried carnivore. That did more damage, a lot of damage actually in the long run. And then I would say the last maybe 4 to 5 years is when I was like getting desperate. And I remember a doctor had given me a prescription of prednisone. And I was just like doing the research and I was like, I refuse to take this. I'm not going to take this. And the exacerbations started to get more aggressive, right? So they were on the hands, they spread to the elbows, and then it started out like once or twice a year, I'd had full body exacerbations, hospitalized. And I remember the doctor had given me the prednisone, and I was like, I refuse to take this. And I was just looking down at myself, feeling so lost and so alone. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. And then it just became a tumbling effect, taking medication and then coming off it and then it coming back and then a real big emotional roller coaster. I think my mental health really suffered in those last couple of years. And then I got a dermatologist, decided to go down that route. And then it was cyclosporin. Cyclosporin is for people who are getting kidney transplants so that their body doesn't reject them. I gained a lot of weight. I created a lot of anxiety. I would say lot of depression too, just the mental and emotional aspect of having and then yeah, Dupixent, methotrexate, and then none of it was working too. It was always there. The inflammation was always there. And that's when I reached out because a lot of things at the Love Your Skin program resonated with me, and I do believe in healing from the inside out. And yeah, so it had been the last couple of years really taxing on my mental health, but I think it was almost like a decade of just trying to figure it out on my own and being led by down the roads. And yeah, it's quite isolating, as I'm sure a lot of the members have talked about, which is a massive component to eczema that people really don't talk about. People see rashes on the outside, but it's so much more than that. Multiple layers. And yeah, that's a snippet of the story.
Yeah. And that's, people are just like, oh, they're just rashes. It's fine. Like, just stop scratching. But it's itchy. And you literally, the way that I think of it, it's like this like ball that you're carrying around, this heavy weight, because it's from the time that you wake up, you're thinking about your skin, and then you're looking in the mirror, picking the dry skin, or is the rash spreading? Okay, what am I going to eat? Is that going to trigger? What am I going to wear? How am I going to hide the rashes? Yeah. And then like you go through the day, you might have an event on the weekend, you're stressing about that. Or even if your skin's clear, am I going to get a flare up on the weekend? And maybe that even triggers it. You're up all night scratching. It's just nonstop. It's like having a part-time, a full-time job, just trying to manage.
It is really though. And because of the work that I do as a massage therapist, it's just so intertwined. I struggled with that for so long too, of the shame piece of making sure people wouldn't see my hands, or I'd wear gloves. And I felt like a slave to the work that I love to do and my body. There was just this, I don't know how to explain it. There was just this weird, this is my career. I have to do this for a living, but I can't because my body is screaming at me. And so there was a lot of inner conflict for so many years.
Of course. And the interesting thing is that we do get so many massage therapists in the program.
Yes.
So many.
Estheticians.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing with massage therapists and also hairdressers, you're always using your hands, and you always have so many products on your hands. So if you get, when you get eczema when you're older, and especially oils, because oils will let in the outside world, right? That barrier is meant to protect us from the outside world. And then when there's so much friction and there's the exchange of energy, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like we talk about the not the perfect, but the character of eczema warriors, and they're always the givers, right? They're always the people that say yes. They're the nurses, they're the caretakers, they're the massage therapists, they're the ones that put everybody first. Yeah, I always find that really interesting.
Yeah, it is. We're actually, Gabor is coming to Sydney. The coaches, the practitioners, we're all getting together to go watch. And it's the first time actually that I've met some of the practitioners, the naturopaths in the program face to face. We're all going to watch. And Gabor, his whole thing is like females in general. Well, there's immune conditions that are just skyrocketing, and females in general, the society that we live in, cares and doing suppressing emotions. And then the work that we've done with our neuropsych in the program is mapping out the nervous system of people with eczema, and always doing for others, not putting yourself first. And like everybody in the program, we're like, oh yeah, that's us, like busy doing for everybody in care roles, but not prioritizing yourself. And then you might have this fight part, or unable to express emotions, and you just keep bottling it up, and then eventually it's up through your skin. So such a big element of it.
Yeah, that really resonates with me for sure. Just providing care for people too. It's just, yeah, I was burnt out as well, just running far from myself, trying to escape my body. So,
yeah. And then it becomes a disconnect too, where I don't know if you've experienced it, but it's just, oh, my body's doing that thing again. And I'm trying so hard, but then I had a disconnect where like my body had just like had a mind of its own, which is so unhealthy, but it's just a normal reaction to those sensations, to try and disconnect from it.
Yeah. Looking back at those moments where you just want to rip your skin apart. It was almost this like disassociation. Like I would be scratching at my hands, looking out the window, and I was in so much pain that I would not realize what I was doing. And then I'd look down and I would be bleeding. And I would just be like, oh, I'm causing this. And the sort of behavioral aspect of that, of just coping, just you're in survival mode in your body and you're not safe and you're just like, ah, yeah.
And that's such a big thing, is that your nervous system clocks it's not safe. So
Mhm.
either eating the foods or even with yourself, like scratching. I remember this time when I was studying and it was late at night. I should have just stopped studying and got up early in the morning, but just I couldn't stop scratching. And now looking back, I had mold in the room and there was so many things that were contributing to that moment, but it hurts. It feels good. And then it hurts and you just can't
Oh,
stop.
it's this weird sensation, like the same sensation from, sorry, but like penetration. Like it's so satisfying to do it, but it hurts. Yeah, and it's just like this. There's definitely, we learn in the program, there's a huge psychological component to and cognitive behavioral into having eczema. And it's so powerful once you learn how your body works and why it's doing that.
Yeah. And that's the interesting thing too, is the habitual itch, because people just start scratching. And then we always start noticing what's coming up. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was feeling a little bit stressed. I was having a tense conversation. I was hearing somebody else on a call talk about their eczema and I just started scratching, but I wasn't even itchy. And then that starts the itch scratch cycle. So yeah, your nervous system, your whole body's connected. Your nervous system regulates every single organ in your body. So yeah,
It's
big brain.
really interesting.
It
Mm-hmm.
is. It is.
One
And it makes
sentence that helped me was just like, "Are you even itchy? You can stop now." I think it was Cassie that says that. But I was just like, it was such a powerful tool for me because the mornings were always hard. And so I'd wake up and just go straight in for an itch. And I'd be like,
Mhm.
"Are you even itchy? You can stop
Yes.
now."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
giving yourself permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the whole thing of being like becoming conscious of what's actually happening in your body instead of just being on autopilot, scratching all the time. And then understanding, okay, I'm doing that thing again. Okay, what are my tools so I can stop that itch? Go get
Mm-hmm.
ice. If you can go in a cold shower,
Tapping,
breath work, tapping,
traction.
resetting that nervous system. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I would dance. That was a big, like, just shift energy somatically in my body. And then 3 songs later, I'm like, what was I doing?
Love it, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we went off track there, but so good.
Yeah.
uh, Going back to the fact that you're an eczema veteran, a wellness veteran, have tried everything. When you came into the Love Your Skin program, what was different for you out of everything that you tried?
For sure, the brain skin connection and the stress piece, that was just something I knew there was always a missing piece there, but I never really knew how to dive into it. My version of that was going to hot yoga 30 days in a row because I thought, all right, let's start a practice or let's meditate. But none of that, there was so much resistance to that stuff too. Like when you're not in the mood and not in a state, sometimes those things don't work. And so the brain skin connection was a really big piece for me. And really understanding like knowledge is power, just like there's so much information out there, and just being in a place where you can trust the stuff and the things you're being educated on. So I feel like that was really big for me. And the team is an eczema experts. That's what I remember our call that we had. And I think I was seeing a naturopath actually at that time. And you had said to me, do they specialize in eczema? And I was just like, no,
Yeah.
which makes a big difference.
Oh,
I'm,
totally. And there's so many people in the program that have studied like nutritional medicine, like me. Cassie is got a degree in dietetics. We have so many people that have actually gotten a degree to try and figure it out, but you don't get taught how to manage eczema. So it's just the basics. Take fish oil, take a probiotic, take zinc, all things that can be helpful, but it's so
Sure.
much deeper. So much deeper. And there are specific lab markers that are always out with eczema. Like we
Exactly.
live and breathe this
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
And we've experienced it too. So it does
Yeah.
make a difference.
Yeah. And a lot of people go in blindly and I was that person too. Like I remember I was taking
Yeah.
B12 and you were like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I thought it was, I was like, well, you do have a point. I don't know. I thought it was good for my skin. And it's like when you just zoom out, you're like, am I doing more damage in the long run? It's just like shifting that perspective and
Yeah.
testing.
That's the thing. We have so much information that we've access to on Google and ChatGPT, which is great, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't know how to use that information.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just desperate and you're Googling, you're in ChatGPT, what should I take? What are other people doing? You're like, well, it's work for them. I'm desperate. I'll just try it.
Mm-hmm.
But the zoom out for us is, okay, what's going on in your body? Like,
Totally.
you experiencing? What does your blood work say? What does your stool analysis say? Okay,
Yeah.
let's just focus on that, because you can try, like, we've so many people coming in on 20 different supplements. We're like,
Mm-hmm.
why? And if you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand biochemistry, they can reduce absorption, or you can completely put your mineral balance out of whack. There's so many people that are just doing courses from pathology companies. You have to
Mm-hmm.
understand the human body. You have to understand prescribing, and you have to have a thorough education and background in diagnostics as well. Like I'm always like, that has to happen, because there's so many health coaches that are just, it's a wild rodeo out there. So I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah. No, but you can get lost out there. And I have done tons of research and still all of what I've done is just gotten me to dead ends. But the fact that the program is specializing in people with eczema, it's like, why do it by yourself when you have a whole panel of professionals that actually know what to do and it works? Yeah.
So on that note, what resistance or what came up for you when investing in yourself? Because you had already done so much. You had some naturopaths that you'd been working with. So what came up for you when you made that decision?
When I made the decision to join the program,
Yeah, or when you're debating it.
I think there's always two things that hold people back. It's like the trust. When you, like I've said before, like when you've been down the rabbit hole and you've been led by this professional and that professional, and you just keep getting caught in this cycle, it's really hard to trust somebody through the screen and trust the process. But what I was doing was not working. And so to speak, of handing the keys over and handing the reins over and
Mm-hmm.
trusting the process was really big for me. I
Mm-hmm.
was able to do it because I this is what I believe in. These are my philosophies in healing. And so there was a lot of overlap on my core values and morals and how I think of the body. And that's a little bit of my education and just I do believe in the holistic world of healing. The other side of that is that I was just so tired of doing it by myself and my mental health was really suffering. And I felt like the component that the program had to offer with supporting the emotional aspect and the brain skin connection and the anxiety and the depression, it was just like, wow, like I never thought about putting all those pieces together. And for me, I feel like I'm like 0 to 60. I can be pretty flighty. And so it really takes me to, I think when you're creating bad habits like that, it's okay, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week. And of course, it's not going to happen because it's not sustainable and that's not how you build on habits. So there's this piece of like accountability that I knew the program could give me just with being on the outside.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm quite flighty and I can distract myself with so many different things. Start, stop. Okay, this isn't working. Let me try this new diet. Okay, I'll try this new supplement. And that's the good thing about the program, because it is 6 months. So you have that anchor and you're coming to the call, you're hearing what's working with other people, but you're having that support with your practitioners as well. And there's a process. be that there's coaches to keep you in line. What are we doing? Are you doing that thing again where you're researching something else, or we're making these big goals that aren't achievable and then you get upset with yourself? Having that support to keep you in line is life-changing.
It's the foundation, I think, too, of just being able to like, okay, not only will we take your hand, but we're going to guide you along the way when
Yeah.
you're not alone. I think that's like that was so valuable for me to know that I wasn't alone, because I felt so alone. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it is just there's so much shame, I think, behind having skin stuff, and it's the first thing people see, and you're worried and about what people think of you, and it's so isolating. And so to be part of the other element of the program is community. It was just so big for me to walk into a space and someone go, how are you doing today? How's your skin? Like the first time somebody asked me that, I just wanted to cry.
Oh.
Just really powerful.
Yeah. And that community piece and that connection is so important. And it is interesting. A lot of people think they don't need it. That would be me too. Like, I'm independent. I don't need anybody. I'm fine type thing. But since we've done so much work on mapping the nervous system of people with eczema and just humans in general, to regulate a nervous system that's dysregulated, which is everybody with eczema, you need human connection. And it is so powerful when people come on the orientation calls and we share all of our journeys about what we've gone through and what we've tried. For me, I was the only person that I knew with eczema. And then hearing, like, all the time when I'm hearing, okay, people doing and had been through very similar journeys, it's just normalizing your experience. And it's not just me. I'm not just an anomaly in the like medical community where they're just like, okay, there's nothing we can do. Like, it's so nice. And just being able to hear, yeah, like I had a challenging day too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you don't have to hide it and put on this brave face to the world. Yeah.
I did hide it for a long time, and I didn't, because of the shame piece, I didn't tell anyone when I was struggling. And being in the program really gave me the voice to be able to be cool enough to go like, I'm not okay. And then that led me to getting the support that I really needed to move on with my skin, and being able to be in an environment where other people are like, yeah, I'm not okay too. It's like their medicine is my medicine, and vice versa. Yeah, it's really powerful community. Yeah.
Yeah. And just that piece in itself is life-changing. Just having the tools to be able to check in with yourself instead of just suppressing it all the time. And, oh, I'm not okay. And also being able to voice it, because a lot of people with eczema, it's not that we don't have the voice, but we just get on with it. So just that in itself as a practice, is life-changing. And that's one of the big things. Yeah, that helps people manage their eczema. That's okay. I'm not okay. I can talk about it with my family members, or if you need the community for support, and then being able to have the tool to say, okay, what do I need at this moment?
Exactly. Because on the outside, it looks that I'm ditching people, or I'm flaky, or I'm calling in sick another time at work, or I'm pulling an excuse. I'm not being authentic to what's really going on. And I remember the day that I decided to just like really open up to my friends and my family and my community, because I had been practicing that in the program with the other eczema warriors. And then I was like, you know what? Like, why am I hiding? I'm suffering alone. And it made me feel so much better being able to say, this is where I'm at. I'm not okay today, but this won't last forever. And yeah, then my friends and family were really able to support me in the way I needed best. So yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. And it's so common. Most people's like close friends and family don't understand the extent of what they're going through. Like even Kessia, who works in the program here, she had no idea. All my friends are like, I had no idea that was going on for you, because you cancel plans and you have a really bad flare up, or you cover up and you just don't talk about it. And they're like, well, I had no idea this was going on. We're just like, we're good at putting on a brave face. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Okay. So let's transition to some of your root causes. So just as if people aren't aware, so we've been talking about the brain skin connection, how impactful that is. But another element of healing and managing eczema long term is understanding what's causing the rashes, what's causing the inflammation inside the body that's coming out from the skin. So we talk about our flare up bucket. What are all the things that are causing inflammation that are contributing to the rashes? So what did you identify in your journey?
Yeah, so I had high histamine for sure. Like my reaction to food was instant. There's a lot of food anxiety as well. So I had histamine overload, and then I had candida overload as well. So we were able to work on the histamine as well as clear up some of the candida. But during that process, I'm like so grateful to be in the program because I did go through TSW, which is just Gema is bad isn't enough, but it's really humbling. Like TSW is just a whole other level of patience and requires love and a really strong mindset because, oh my gosh, you can just spiral out of control. I was off work and I keep thanking God because I had found my way to the program and went through that. So they were able to support me, not only physically working on that inflammation in my body, but also the mindset piece as well as the brain skin connection while I was moving through that. And for me, when I had been in the program, my anxiety, I love to share this story because it's like when you are in cruise control, like I never thought that I was a very anxious person. I'm a massage therapist. I'm in a very, like, I'm counting my strokes. I'm in dark light, but my skin definitely gave me anxiety. And so my anxiety, like, I did a anxiety score with my doctor and it was a 4 out of 4 when I entered the program. And so was my depression. And I was just so, I never wanted to admit that I had anxiety, but I think I was on cruise control and that it didn't feel like a 9 because it felt like a 5, but it was really a 9. So all of those pieces were the pieces that we really focused on. And I've always been attracted to mindset, and Mandy was my coach, and she was just the light of the day for me in those moments because she knew what it was like to go through the eczema roller coaster and TSW. And yeah, it was great to have that piece. It really helped me not only help me through the TSW, but by the time I left the program, my anxiety was a 1 out of 4 and my depression was a 0. So that's really, it's huge.
That's massive. That's massive. And as a background, like people think that you need to go through intensive therapy, which sometimes definitely you need to, but the community piece, and I'll go back to Gabor Mate, I took from him. He quotes a lot of studies where it's just community and connecting with other people, because what's the Venn diagram for depression? It's being isolated. It's not being cut off from your community. Also not sleeping, which happens as well.
Yeah.
So having that connection piece, obviously there's places and times where 100% you need to go see a therapist. We do recommend that in the program where people do that like outside the program as well. But just having that connection piece is so helpful. And with TSW, your whole identity, I don't know if it's the same with you, but a lot of my identity used to come from the way that I looked. And then also what you can physically do. So I've never gone through TSW, so I can't speak to that. But when that is gone, you're just left with yourself, which can be really confronting for people. And that's why it is so hard, but also you can gain so much if you actually do the work while going through
I feel like a better person to just, not that I needed to go through it because I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through that, but something really had to switch there. And having the ability to like see it that it was happening for me, that I really needed to make some changes and get out of my own way. And yeah, and have this really fresh outlook on life. I feel like I'm a better person going through the program and being a part of it.
Oh, I love it. And I love when I hear that because It's about empowering you to have the tools to manage everyday stressors, because what you do and think every day impacts your skin. So like we've had so many people who said, I've started a very stressful job and I wouldn't have been able to manage this without having the tools in the program.
Mhm.
So it's just having that agency that I can get through this, which is so powerful.
They're for life. They are for life. I had a friend that was visiting on the weekend, and I was talking about the program and the eczema healing pillars. And she said, "Do you still do that stuff?" And I looked at her and I was like, "Forever." I will be doing that forever. Don't take that away from me. Just mine for myself. I was like, she's known where I've been in 10 years. And I was like, wow. Yeah, no, forever.
So on that note, what are some of the major turning points and aha moments that you've had going through your eczema healing journey program?
First, it is about your body hears the words you say, especially in those moments where the breakouts are on your face or wherever they are, and you don't feel comfortable or attractive, or and just learning how to not look in the mirror. Today, I don't need to look in the mirror. And I think I was pretty hard. I've been pretty hard on myself because I'm an all or nothing type of person, but I don't have to be. And if it's 5 minutes a day, if it's 20 minutes a day, if it's twice a week, those are wins. And learning how to celebrate the little things in turn is the big stuff. And yeah, just taking a little bit more time for the way I do things in life, that was really big for me. So mindset, what else was really big? Yeah, just I think trusting the process. When
Mm.
it's like when you think you know everything, you don't. Because chances are if you're here, you're caught in the cycle, and just giving the reins over to the professionals, like the best thing I've ever done. So yeah.
Mhm. It is big because we do have people that come through the program that, oh, I've already tried so many things, it's not going to work for me. I'm like, you have to, and it's hard to say on the front end, you have to trust the program and the process when there's been so much distrust in conventional medicine. Just take this cream or pill, even alternative medicine, take all these supplements, or even psychology, things haven't worked. So it is a really hard balance, and it's hard to say trust the process, but that's one thing that we hear on most interviews is I was able to just let go of the wheel and be able to just go in, tell me what to do and just do it. And when people do have that mindset and they're open to trying different things, it's a completely different experience.
Gosh, that's where the magic happens, right? Of just trusting the process and going through the process. And then it's like a little bit of like letting go of control a little bit too.
And this is a big thing too, but maybe that's a trailhead, not
Mhm.
having trust, needing to control everything, needing to do other things, what's coming up for you. And that's the deep work of rewiring the brain skin connection is what's the root cause of all
Yeah,
these little behavior patterns that are coming up that are contributing to your eczema.
absolutely.
How you
And
really
I said before, like knowledge is power. And so it's like really some big shifts of like really understanding like why. I think there's the science behind it and everything that the practitioners do. But for me, it was like simple things like nails break the skin. And I'm like, yeah, my nails are breaking my skin right now. So why do I have this cognitive behavioral of every time I get stressed out, I get itchy, and just really rewiring the way I saw myself, the way I spoke to myself, the way I touch myself. Like
mm-hmm.
these are really big things. When you have eczema, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rewiring all those pathways that have been like laid down and reinforced from a lifetime. So it does take practice and it
Oh,
does
it
take
does
patience.
affect. Yeah.
And it does take veering off track and coming in again and noticing, okay, I did that thing again, having some compassion, lots is happening, and just keep coming back. Because that's
Yeah.
it. That's how to change those patterns. Just keep
Yeah.
coming back, keep coming back.
Yeah. I had
Yeah.
a good moment like maybe 2 months ago when I started learning a new position, and all of a sudden I was getting really anxious and really overwhelmed, and I had 500 tabs open, and these limiting beliefs came in, and that just anxiety. And I was like, whoa, like the contrast of not feeling that for a while. And I was like, okay. I was like noticing, I'm feeling where this is in my body. Maybe I'm a little itchy. What can I do? We're having that moment where those old behavior patterns are trickling in, and I'm like, no, I got this. Now I know what to do because knowledge is power and I understand how it works.
Mm-hmm. And that's such a good example also, thanks for sharing that, where it's not just about avoiding stress and thinking, okay, I need to live in this world of rainbows and butterflies, which doesn't exist. It's about having the tools to say, okay, this is happening again. Is this true? Are these limiting beliefs actually true?
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, even those limiting beliefs in those parts of your system that are popping up, they're good because they help drive you forward too. So
Yeah.
being able to work with them in different areas, and when they are taking over, being able to say, okay, maybe we're going to focus on something else now, reset the system, and just being able to work with yourself,
Yeah.
which is hard. It takes a lot of practice.
It's hard. I feel like I do have this regained confidence and knowledge and the experience to not be afraid to really be there for myself. I just feel like I can't, I really want to fall apart right now and cry because I just like when you've been in the shadows and the darkness alone to where I am now, it's so huge. So I have the program to thank for that and myself.
Yeah. Beautiful. And thanks so much for doing the work and trusting the process and giving it your all. So, just quickly, because we do have to wrap it up. So, what would you say to somebody who is at the beginning of their healing journey? Let's say maybe thinking about taking the medications, on some medications. Yeah, they're at that point. What would your words of wisdom be?
Look, there's no shame to medication, but it's gonna not get you to figuring out the problem. I feel like the biggest thing is that you're not alone. You are not alone with how you are feeling about your body. You are not alone, that you're just not alone. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the experience can be so isolating, and it won't be like this forever. Don't lose hope, but healing takes time and it's possible. So you just got to reach out and ask for help because there's an entire community and team of people that can support you in more ways than you could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh. And for people just starting the Love Your Skin program, what would your words of wisdom for them be?
Slower is faster.
Every time, that's what
I
everybody
hate to
says.
love it, but I love to hate it.
Yeah, totally.
Slower is faster. I'm like, okay, Gemma, I hear you.
Yes.
Slower is
Every day, I'm
faster.
like, slower is faster. I mock it in my head, but it's the truth.
But it's the truth. And just take your time. Take your
Yeah.
time with the process. Smell every flower. Look at every document. Become curious. Never ever stop showing up and becoming curious, because the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out. And yeah, it is really a transformational time, and healing is absolutely possible.
Love it. And going through that process, slowing down, what is life like for you day to day now?
Oh, I have my life back. I sleep through the night. I wear the
Mm.
clothes that I want to wear. I eat the food I want to eat. It's just like before, but better because I have all these tools. And oh, I love my life. There's this deeper sense that I've fallen in love with myself because I have these tools. And yeah, like I've been practicing those things for a while now, and I will continue to practice them because I have everything I need inside me. So yeah.
I love it. Oh, that's beautiful, Gemma. Thank you so much for today. So many like pearls in there, words of wisdom. Thanks for sharing and being vulnerable. It's hard to talk about your journey because there has been so many highs and lows, and it's so beautiful to see you on the other side. Because I do remember our first calls. So proud of you, Gemma.
Yeah. Hey, and thank you from my heart. Thank you for all the work and the dedication. Some people often think this is a scam, and it's, oh my
I
God. If you actually
only
knew,
knew how much love and care is in the
yeah,
program.
and like the dedication behind the screen with the team of professionals, like working together for you, start today. Get in
Yeah.
line. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you would like to speak to the team about the Love Your Skin program, if it's a good fit for you, if healing is even possible, it is. But if you'd like to speak with the team, we'll drop the link below.